All right, hi everybody. I'm the best man. I just wanted to say that every memory is too hard to find, and I'm glad that they never told me. I'm kidding. I am Jim Bard, and I am the best man tonight. And I have to give a place for Edward. I'm going to bring a chair out for him. It's slippery. It's got something on it. I got it. I'm pretty strong. Edward, if you can come out here and sit down, this would be great. Center of attention. Alright, so like I said, I am the best man. My name is Jim Bard, and I've known Edward Slade for quite a while now. I guess we went to kindergarten together. I don't really remember that, but I started hanging out in high school. After high school, went to junior college together, Delta. And after that, we were roommates for a while. We lived in Martinez, and then I lived with him for about a year in Antioch. So, he asked me to be his best man. That's why I'm here. Actually, Edward, we were all pretty happy that you met Amy because it was actually someone that was legally old enough to date. I wanted to see if Edgar was going to laugh at that one. Edward too. Hey, these Soleil guys like them young. Edward does things a little different. Communication-wise, and I'm not just talking about how he plurals things that shouldn't be plural. But, there's an example. When Vinny was moving back from Las Vegas, he told me, he's like, we need to add another player to the softball roster. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, well, Vinny's moving back. Oh, okay, I get it. And he goes, when Amy's pregnant, the way he told me that, he said, you're going to be an uncle. What do you mean I'm going to be an uncle? He says, well, Amy's pregnant. Oh, all right. So when he told me that I needed to get a speech ready, I figured out, well, I must be the best man, and he's getting married. So that's why I'm here right now. But I didn't know a lot about being the best man, so I asked Darren, my friend Darren over here. He got married fairly recently, and he was best man in his brother's wedding a couple weeks ago. And I said, Darren, I don't know anything about giving a speech. I know the best man's supposed to give a speech. What should I do? He said, well, go onto the internet and check out these sites and you'll find some stuff. So about 2 hours in, I find some amazing stuff online. And then I realized I got to look up some stuff for a best man speech. And I guess the internet's better. The internet's not just for driving directions and porn, so I did find some great stuff. The first thing it said, this is a rule of thumb. Now, I didn't make this up, and you probably heard about this before, but they said the amount of time you should spend on your best man speech, so you probably heard this, is the same amount of time it takes the groom to make love. But I want to do more than an introduction, so I'm not going to follow that advice. The first thing it says to start a best man speech is the thank yous. And this is actually the sincere part of my speech. So, the first people I want to thank, and most importantly, is the Soleil family. Because I've I felt so welcome in their family ever since I've been hanging out with Edward for a long time now. They've always been very kind to me and very nice. And if I didn't have such a warm family of my own, I would actually ask them to adopt me. And I would change my name to some derivative of Ed, and I would become a Soleil myself. I also wanted to thank, of course, the Reverend Michael B. Loving for a great get this man a drink. And all the bridesmaids, hot. And of course, all the groomsmen that were there with me during the ceremony. And all the guests. I know a lot of you had to travel quite a way, so thank you all for making it out for Edward's special day today. But, and of course, you too. The next thing it tells you to do in the best man speech is to compliment the groom. That's not hard. I wrote down a few things about Edward. He's looking very sharp tonight. Very nice. Handsome guy, smart, original, funny, generous, considerate. He's punctual. For a Filipino, that's a big thing. You don't hear a Filipino time. This guy is so punctual. I'm older myself. But no, in all seriousness, because of Edward, I actually feel I am a better person because he's so generous, he's so considerate of others. He makes you feel considerate and generous toward others too. And I don't think I'd be as good a person without him. So that's actually true. And one thing in this speech. Alright, you should talk about how you know the groom. Now, I've mentioned how we went to school together and the roommates and all that. But these are kind of the things that Edward has done to me in the past. So, I was working with him. I think he tried to blind me. He threw a cardboard box into my eye. He must have noticed. This was about 2:30 in the morning one night. We're getting ready for a swap meet with the good guys. And I don't know if he saw maybe a wrinkle on my sleeve or something, but he thought it would be a good idea to iron my shirt for me. But I was wearing it at the time. He invited me paintballing one time. He shot me from a foot away. And he tried to blame it on the other team. He hit my car in high school. He pushed me into a pool, and I know, okay, yeah, big deal, he pushed me into a pool. All right, I was fully clothed, and it was in the middle of winter. Just don't do that to somebody. This is a story. I think we were on the way back from one of the Oktoberfests. If you don't know what that is, the Soleils, a lot of them have birthdays in October. When we go down to Vegas, we're spending some good time down there. We're at the airport. We're getting ready to go back home. And I'm hungry, so I go, hey, can I get some Burger King or something? They have one in the airport there. So I get some Burger King, and I sit down, and I got my Whopper here, my fries over here, Coke over here. I'm all set up. Edward sits down next to me, and he kind of leans up, and I'm like, well, what are you doing? And he farts so loud that I think he shocks himself. Everyone in the entire terminal just like gets quiet and looks over our direction. And I think we both realized at the same time that everyone was focused on us. So Edward turns to me and in disgust just goes, Jimmy. And then he walks away. And I can't go